Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. I was looking at the wrong camera then. Just testing out a new camera. Well, it's not a new camera, it's an old camera that I've plugged in that I'm seeing how we go with. So, testing this. So, anyway, bit of news tonight. So, let's just get on with it, shall we? Right, where are we? Where have I put it? Right, first up. After extremely poor viewership ratings, Disney to push first 2 episodes of Andor to ABC, FX, Hulu and Freeform, which I've never heard of. This is from Bounding Into Comics. As usual, all the links are in the description box below. And don't forget, like and subscribe. I'm pointing the right way. There's my hand. Like and subscribe and share the videos and all that amazing stuff. Right. Right, here we go. So there's Cassie and Andor in prison. Right, the Walt Disney Company announced they would release the first 2 episodes of their latest Star Wars series Andor to ABC, Freeform, FX and Hulu as the show's ratings sit in the toilet. Andor's viewership ratings have been at the bottom or even off the charts of Nielsen's top 10 streaming series since it initially released on Disney Plus back on September 21st. The first 3 episodes, which released together, only raked in 624 million minutes viewed. Is that not good? Mustn't be. I don't know. And there's a ranking of top 10 streaming shows, I imagine. I see Netflix dominates. Oh, it says there, minutes in millions. Oh, the Dharma, over 3.5 billion minutes viewed. So there you go. And see, as you see, Andor's not even in there. In fact, no Disney Plus things are in there. Just one Prime, one HBO Max, but everything else is Netflix. Just shows who the big boy is, doesn't it? Anyway, these abysmal viewership numbers led YouTuber Valiant Renegade to declare Star Wars a dead brand. I won't go that far. He stated, "Take a look again at these terrible numbers," with his amazing voice. I can't do it. "Take a look again at these terrible numbers for Andor, 624 million watch minutes, and soak it in, Disney, because you did this. Disney's animosity towards fans..." Did I say that right? I'll say that again. Disney's animosity towards fans is exactly what they've received back, and even worse, they've received back a wealth of apathy from the Star Wars fandom. They just don't care anymore. "You see, it doesn't matter how good Andor is," he explains, "and I again understand a lot of people like the show, including me. I think it's really good. And it's wonderful and one of the best Star Wars shows that they have made to this point, and that's great, and I'm happy that those fans are enjoying it. I'm not here to take that away from you. I'm strictly here looking at the business side of things. I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm reading the tea leaves, and they are just flat bad for Star Wars right now. But they are for Andor." Because I think that Tales of the Jedi, I think that did quite well. Or I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard. The viewership numbers have only fallen from there. The most recent ratings for the week, ended October 16th, show Andor only bringing in 405 million minutes viewed. That's only good for 7th on Nielsen's original category, behind She-Hulk and Great British Baking Show. Great British Baking, you mean Bake Off? Oh no, have they changed the name of it? Oh, actually, it's on Netflix. Yeah, there it is, number 7. You see, there's more of a mix-up of providers there, isn't there? It's mostly Netflix again, but we get a Hulu and a Disney Plus and a Prime. No HBO this time. But that's for original content. There we go. Overall original acquired. Is that like when they're like films and stuff are on Netflix that Netflix hasn't made itself? Is that what that is? Or like TV shows, like when Netflix shows like Doctor Who and stuff like that, and Star Trek. Is that what that means? I don't know. And movies. With the ratings sagging and the Star Wars brand flagging, if not dead, as Valiant Renegade claims, the Walt Disney Company announced they will air the first 2 episodes of the series, Casa and That Would Be Me, on ABC, FX, Freeform and Hulu. And there's the dates there. going to be showing them later on in November, 23rd, 24th, and 25th over various platforms. And on Hulu, available from November 23rd through December 7th. In a press release, Disney attempted to spin the release of the first 2 episodes as a celebration of the series finale, writing, "To celebrate the highly anticipated Andor finale on Disney Plus and to help kick off the Thanksgiving holiday, the Walt Disney Company will offer viewers a special opportunity to watch the first 2 episodes of the acclaimed series across its unparalleled distribution platforms, including ABC, FX, Freeform, and Hulu." What they mean is that not a lot of people are watching it. So they're going to put it on these platforms like ABC and FX that more people will watch, because they're like regular television, aren't they? In the hopes that they'll think, oh, that were quite good, I'll go and subscribe to Disney. Or, I've got Disney already, but I didn't know about this Andor thing. I'll go give it a look. It could work. It might not. I mean, they did it with Star Trek, didn't they? Paramount did it with Star Trek. They put it on CBS, didn't they? Whatever channel they run. They put season 1 on CBS, and it came dead last, didn't it, in the ratings? So it didn't work for them because Star Trek Discovery is crap. Right. Anyway, the official description for the series states the Andor series, set 5 years before the events of Rogue One, focuses on Cassian Andor and his journey towards becoming a rebel hero. The tale is set against the backdrop of a burgeoning rebellion against a ruthless empire, where people and planets are drawn into a conflict that will have far-reaching effects across the galaxy. It's an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, and one that will test the courage and resolve of a reluctant hero determined to make a difference. The final 2 episodes have yet to debut. They will air on Disney Plus on November 16th and November 23rd. And that's it. What do you make of it? So there you go. But yes, that's what I think they're doing. It's not a celebration. It's they're panicking a little bit, I think. But it's to be expected, isn't it? I mean, who knows Andor? Not many people. If you're a fan of Rogue One like me, I think Rogue One's amazing. Then yeah, you'll know who Cassian Andor is, but your general, Joe public have no idea who Andor is. They probably saw it and thought, "Oh, has it got Ewoks in?" Because it's a bit like Endor. I bet they did. But yeah, anyway, so there you go. That's all for, to try and get people onto the Disney Plus platform. Because they're not showing all of them; they're just showing the first 2 episodes. Anyway, let's move on. Right, here we go. Trailer for the Lovecraftian creature feature Freeze. It's not just the frost that bites. Lovecraft's in the news, isn't he, recently? The other day, Guillermo del Toro released a quick FX test footage, CG, of his At the Mountains of Madness adaptation that we were hoping to do about 10 years ago, and it fell through and nothing came of it. Anyway, but now here, this one, Lovecraftian creature feature. I don't know if it's based on the Lovecraft, but there's a picture of the creature. Right, here's a trailer for a new Lovecraftian creature feature titled Freeze. Can you see that, by the way? I'll have to make that a bit smaller, won't I? Because they've got big text. There we go. And it looks like a fun, crazy monster movie. It actually won the H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival's Best Film Award 2022, so the film has got some serious cred. If you're a fan of these kinds of horror movies, you're going to want to check this one out. At least watch the trailer. The movie comes from director Charlie Steed's The Barge People. I've never heard of. And this is the synopsis. On a rescue mission to the North Pole, to retrieve an old friend and his lost expedition crew, Captain Mortimer gets more than he bargained for when his ship is frozen into the ice sheet and set upon by bloodthirsty fish creatures. Mortimer and his surviving crew flee the ship, beginning a treacherous journey to find safety in a frozen, desolate wilderness. Suffering from starvation, frostbite, and a slow madness, they find shelter inside a snowy mountain. But are they as safe as they think, or have they entered the heart of the creature's lair? Sounds a little bit like, I forgot to call it now. There was a TV series, wasn't there? The Terror, which were quite good, but I didn't see it all. I forgot about it, to be honest. I started watching it, and and then forgot about it. But the couple of episodes I saw were quite good. That was a bit like that, wasn't it? The movie stars Johnny Vivash, David Lennick, Beatrice, but people I've never heard of. But anyway, down here, there's no word on when you'll be able to watch this movie, but here's the trailer. So let's have a look at the trailer, shall we? Let's go back to the beginning. And we'll watch the trailer. I'll put it full screen. There we go. You have to put up with all this in the way, and me. Hopefully I won't get too much in the way.
We are in the middle of a half-frozen polar ocean, Gideon, further north than any ship that safely returned has ever sailed.
The cold does things to a man's mind, gives him strange inclinations.
This place, it doesn't care about you. It only knows that we are warm flesh and blood, and how to freeze the very life from us.
The Arctic has no mercy.
We have a month, at best, before starvation takes hold of all of us.
It looks like we weren't the first to find this place.
There's something in the cargo hold, Captain. Some beast. Some creature.
Years I've waited for you to find me. Years I've suffered in this freezing darkness. These hunters can be cruel.
Nobody's thinking rationally anymore.
Don't you understand? They find these creatures, then all is lost. Why help them, damn you?
They lost themselves in these fountains of madness.
This is the unrelenting Arctic.
That looks okay. That looks okay. Looks a bit low budget, but you know, that's what you'd expect, I suppose. But it looks okay, and they even mentioned these mountains of madness, didn't they? But yeah, the creatures look a bit, you know, don't look the best, do they? But it looks like fun. It looks like fun to me. So I'll look out for that, and I hope it's good. Right, let's move on. So fingers crossed that's going to be good. Right, next up, piece of Star Trek history just sold for a record amount. A copy of the 1967 comic book Star Trek #1 sold for $46,500 at auction. Crikey. Through television, films, and Star Trek comics, fans have been following the likes of Captains James T. Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard into the final frontier for more than 50 years. It's nearly 60 years now. According to comicbook.com, one of those fans just paid a hefty sum for the first ever Star Trek comic book. A copy of the Star Trek #1 sold for $46,500 at the Doug's Dell and Gold Key Comics auction on November 3rd. The comic book was graded... Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, you can. The comic book was graded, I think. Hang on. Yes, you can. By Certified Guarantee Company CGC and received a CGC 9.6, meaning the copy was in outstanding condition. The CGC has graded 5 copies of Star Trek #1, with only 1 copy receiving a higher grade. The sale price is almost double the previous record of $20,400 for a comic book in the same condition sold in 2019. More comics also saw high sales at the Doug's Dell and Gold Key Comics auction. Wonder where this was. A copy of Walt Disney's Comics and Stories #2 sold for $38,400, and a copy of 4-Color #9 sold for $31,200. Imagine all that lovely commission the auctioneers are getting. Star Trek first appeared on television in 1966. The American science fiction series was created by Gene Roddenberry and premiered on NBC. It followed the crew of the starship USS Enterprise and her captain, James T. Kirk, played by William Shatner, as they take on the mission to boldly go where no man has gone before. Star Trek #1 was the first comic book to feature the Star Trek franchise in comic edition. It was published by Gold Key Comics in 1967, 1 year after Star Trek initially appeared on television. And here we go, is this #1? I don't know. Does it say? I think it is, isn't it? There you go. So that's the cover. Don't say what it is. It was 12 cents anyway. And it's got photos from the show. An expedition team discovers its secret too late. KG, Planet of Death. There you go. Oh, it is there. It says there. Star Trek #1, Gold Key Comics. The recently sold comic features the story The Planet of No Return. It says there, Planet of Death. Which was written by Dick Wood with art by Nevio Zakara. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. Though the show and the comic series ran at the same time, the comic book series was infamous for being inconsistent with the plot of the television series. For instance, the Enterprise features a different design. The crew all wear the same green uniforms, and Spock often shows much more emotion than he does on the television screen. I don't know about that, because in the series, they were always showing emotion, wasn't it? There were always something affecting Spock's emotions. Well, not always, but, reasonably often. Despite the differences between book and screen, Star Trek #1 is still an important piece of history for the celebrated franchise. The Star Trek comic series was planned for 62 issues, but only ever published 61. I wonder what happened to that lost issue. In 1979, Marvel Comics bought the rights to the series and began their own rendition, starting with an adaptation of Star Trek the Motion Picture. New Star Trek comics are underway with the current Trek license holder IDW Publishing. They recently released a new Star Trek #1 that takes place between the finale of Star Trek Voyager and the 2002 film Star Trek Nemesis. There's also a possibility for new television Star Trek content as well, with Marvel's Loki director Kate Herron in talks to helm a new Star Trek series for streaming. Well, that's first I've heard of that. Oh, that's it. There you go. I'll have to look into that. That's first I've heard of that. I know Matt Shackman was supposed to direct Star Trek 4, the Kelvinverse film, but pulled out. But that's first I've heard of that one. But anyway, so, very good. $46,500 for a comic. Unbelievable. Right. Right, what's next for the Harry Potter franchise? The Wizarding World seems to be over, but the Harry Potter franchise will most likely continue to expand. But what's next? Here's what could happen. And there's Harry Potter, and that's Newt Scamander. The Wizarding World is going through significant changes following the failures of the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. I still haven't watched that last one. But what's next for the Harry Potter franchise? Back in 1997, readers were introduced to the Wizarding World in J.K. Rowling's, by the way, Rowling, as in to rhyme with bowling. It's not Rowling, it's Rowling. Debut movie, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It was the Sorcerer's Stone in America. I don't know why. The first entry in a series of 7 novels, the story of the boy who lived and his mission to stop the darkest wizard of all, Lord Voldemort, became a cultural phenomenon, making way for a media franchise that started with the Harry Potter saga being adapted into a series of 8 movies, with the final novel being split into 2 movies. The final chapter in the Harry Potter movie saga, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, was released in 2011. Crikey, 11 years ago. Unbelievable. But the Wizarding World continued to expand with video games, a stage production, and even a theme park, which is supposed to be amazing. There's 2, isn't there? In America, anyway. There's one in Florida, one in California. They're supposed to be really, really good. I think there's one in this country as well, isn't there? I don't know if that's good or not. In 2016, the audience was taken back to the Wizarding World on the big screen with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was followed by 2 sequels. Unfortunately, the Fantastic Beasts trilogy couldn't match the success and popularity of the Harry Potter movie series, and it seems to have led to the end of the Wizarding World. However, Warner Brothers is reportedly interested in more Harry Potter content. So what's next for the Harry Potter franchise? What will happen with the Fantastic Beasts branch? And there's Harry again, and Newt. I quite like them Fantastic Beasts films, but they're not as good as the Harry Potter films, are they? But I've still got to watch the last one. What is it? Secret of Dumbledore or whatever. going to have to get round to it. Right, during the company's earnings meeting, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav shared that they are interested in doing something with J.K. Rowling on Harry Potter going forward, saying that they haven't done a Harry Potter movie. God, I wish I could learn to talk. A Harry Potter movie in 15 years. Zaslav's phrasing came as a surprise, as it shows that Warner, or David Zaslav, doesn't consider the Fantastic Beasts trilogy a success, and implies that there isn't really a future for it anymore, but it also shows that the Wizarding World might be over as well. Zaslav isn't referring to the franchise as the Wizarding World anymore, suggesting that it might be dead, or at least the name is. It wouldn't be surprising if the Wizarding World went through a rebranding, as happened with Pottermore, which is now Wizarding World, and Warner decided to focus more on content that features Harry Potter. Although they are both part of the same universe, the Fantastic Beasts movies are set many, many years before the events of the Harry Potter saga, so while they feature many characters from that movie series, the title wizard never appears. Warner seems to be more interested in content that includes Harry Potter, which makes way for some exciting possibilities, but also puts a big question mark over other projects. Among those projects from the Wizarding World with a future unknown is the fourth Fantastic Beasts movie. Back in 2016, Rowling announced that the plan for Fantastic Beasts was to be a series of 5 movies covering the events of wizarding history that happened between 1926 and 1945, such as the beginning of the First Wizarding War and the duel between Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald. However, the Fantastic Beasts movies failed to connect with the audience for different reasons, and compared to the Harry Potter movies, they turned out to be a big failure. Fantastic Beasts was originally supposed to follow Newt Scamander and the title Beasts, but it quickly changed its focus to the conflict between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, giving the trilogy an inconsistent tone and story. The Fantastic Beasts movies were also overshadowed by various controversies with some of its main actors, as well as Rowling herself, and when it comes to box office numbers, they sit at the bottom, accompanied by Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the best one. Unbelievable. Taking all this into account, it's not surprising that Warner has decided to forget about the Fantastic Beasts branch, putting an end to those sequel plans. The controversies are, but Johnny Depp, they fired him, didn't they, because of the Amber Heard, shenanigans. Just fired him, got rid of him. Bloody Mads Mikkelsen in, who's a fine actor, but, it's not Johnny Depp, is he? And what was the other one? J.K. Rowling. She said some truths about, biology. And people freaked out. I tell you. Although Fantastic Beasts 4 hasn't been officially cancelled, it isn't in development either. Variety reported that there are no projects in active development from the Wizarding World at the moment, including both Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts, so Fantastic Beasts 4 isn't happening, and it might not happen at all if Warner continues to be focused on Harry Potter content from now on. While Warner being interested in more Harry Potter content means Fantastic Beasts will be left aside, it also means that other projects that involve the boy who lived can finally happen. Among them is a film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, or is it Cursed? I don't know. A play written by Jack Thorne from a story by Rowling, Thorne and John Tiffany. Cursed Child is a continuation of the Harry Potter book series, as it's set 19 years after the events of Deathly Hallows, following Harry's son, Albus Severus Potter, during his time at Hogwarts. There, Albus gets into serious trouble after messing with a time-turner, while Harry is the head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement at the Ministry of Magic. Cursed Child then would be the obvious next step if Warner wants to make another Harry Potter movie, and it's now reportedly among Warner's plans for the expansion of the Harry Potter saga. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that Cursed Child, as it is, would make a good movie, and if it does make the jump to the big screen, it will have to go through major changes, well, obviously, as the story has been criticised for recycling storylines, breaking Potter canon, Harry Potter canon, and having a fan fiction feel. Although there are no more Harry Potter books after Deathly Hallows, there are some stories that could be adapted into movies and thus continue the beloved saga. Among the best options is a movie focused on Harry's role as an Auror. Am I saying that right? I don't know. As he was recruited by Kingsley Shacklebot and became an Auror, which is a wizard who serves as a highly trained law enforcement official for the magical government. With the wizarding world now free of Voldemort, it would be interesting to see what Harry's job as an Auror would be like. Of course, there are other stories set before Harry Potter's time that would be interesting to explore, which they've just been doing, haven't they, with Fantastic Beasts? But Warner's attention seems to be on content that includes the famous young wizard. If Cursed Child doesn't happen, Warner could go for a different continuation of Harry's life post-Deathly Hallows. I mean, they could do the story of how he survives Voldemort's, attack. They could, do a film or a couple of films or a trilogy leading up to that, couldn't they? Anyway, perhaps the biggest obstacle in making more Harry Potter movies is the actors. The main cast of the Harry Potter saga has moved on to bigger things. Not really. And has finally managed to shake off their characters and the labels that came with them. Not really. I mean, you see Daniel Radcliffe in stuff, and you still think that's Harry Potter. You see Rupert Grint in stuff. I saw him in that Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities recently, and I just thought, there's Ron Weasley. And you see, I forgot her name, Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast, and you just think, why is Hermione Granger in Beauty and the Beast? You do. It's understandable, then, that they aren't sure about coming back to the wizarding world so soon. Daniel Radcliffe has said he would be ready to reprise his role as Harry Potter, but isn't interested in doing so for now, while Tom Felton has jokingly said he would work with Radcliffe again if they switched roles and Felton was now the hero. That said, Warner would most likely have to recast the main characters of the Harry Potter saga, which is an extremely risky move. Another possibility for the expansion of the Harry Potter franchise is through TV shows on HBO Max. In January 2021, it was reported that there were Harry Potter TV series in development, but there haven't been any uplifting updates. The news of Harry Potter TV shows gave fans hope for a prequel TV series focused on the Marauders, but this doesn't really fit Warner's new plans for the franchise. At the time of writing, it's unknown if Warner's plans include TV shows for HBO Max, and if so, if these would be a continuation of Harry Potter's story, or if they would explore other stories linked to the young wizard. Excuse me. That's it. Is it? Yeah, that's it. That's a different story. Is that one, isn't it? Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, I think they will do something. I think everything's up in the air because Warner's and HBO and all that, they're still in this kind of limbo, aren't they? Because of the Discovery takeover and that, and David Zaslav swinging his axe. So I think things will settle down and they'll make a decision about what to do next. And I won't be surprised if they do carry on doing the Fantastic Beasts. Oh, pardon me. Finish off that 5 film, because they've done 3, haven't they? They might as well do the next 2. But could they be scaled back? Not quite spend as much. I don't know how much they cost, but I bet they're not cheap. I bet they're like pushing $200 million each. I bet. I don't know. I haven't checked. But I bet they'll decide pretty soon. And David Zaslav seemed keen to do more Harry Potter. So hopefully it will happen. Because I like Harry Potter. I like the films. I've got the books. I started reading, but I didn't like. You know what I'm like with books. I'm lazy. I'm too lazy to read. I know I've written books and I'm too lazy to read. What does that say for me? Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are in the universe, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say there.